Hey guys, how are you doing? I'm good! Hey, Shiru desu. Today, I'm going to tell you how I improve my English skills and how I become fluently in English. Let's get started! So today, I'm going to tell you how you improve your English skills more and how you get fluently in English. Okay, so in this lesson, you can learn how to speak more fluently in English. How long have you been studying English? Do you find that something even though you study hard but you can't speak fluently? Do you learn lots of grammar and vocabulary but you find it difficult to make sentences when you speak? In this lesson, we are going to talk about fluency and what you can do to change this situation and improve your English fluency. So, what is fluency for you? Speaking well, or you know lots of grammars and vocabulary like that. Sometimes when people talk about fluency, they just mean speaking a language well. For some people, speaking English fluently just means having a good general level of English. However, fluency is more specific. Fluency means you can speak more smoothly without stopping or hesitating. There are two sides to fluency. One side is physical. Your mouth needs to pronounce it. You can say it, and connect English sounds and words in a fast, smooth way. The other side of fluency is mental. Your brain needs to find the right words and build English sentences quickly and smoothly. To improve your fluency, you need to work on both sides. Physical and mental. But first, you need to know about this. Rule number 1. Speak out English from your mouth. There are many things you can do to improve your English fluency. However, if you want to become more fluent, more smoothly, you can say in English, there's really one thing you have to do. One thing. Speak English. Talk to people and have conversation regularly. Nothing else you can do is as important as this. Reading English will improve your reading. Practicing listening will improve your listening. Then what about speaking? Nothing will help your speaking except speaking. Speaking English is a practical skill. It is not an academic subject. It's not something you can learn from a book. It's more like doing a sport or playing a musical instrument. You need to practice. Speak out loud from your mouth as often as you can. I'd recommend you need to spend at least 2 to 3 hours a week. So, how can you do this? Go to classes, talk to experts in your city, join group or activities with English speakers, find a conversation partner online, do a language exchange. There are many possibilities. I'm going to take a guess here about what many of you are thinking right now. But I don't have people to talk to. I don't have friends from foreign countries. But I'm shy. It's too difficult like this. Let's talk about that quickly. Speaking a foreign language is hard. Situations which would be easy in your language can feel difficult in another language. Situations which would feel difficult in your language can feel almost impossible when you have to do them in a foreign language. That's how it is. It's easy to imagine when you start learning another language that you will reach a point where everything is easy and comfortable. But unless you live in a foreign country and live completely inside that culture, that won't happen. I've studied several languages at this point in my life and speak them quite well, but it never feels easy or comfortable. So why are we talking about this? Because I'd like you to motivate you to go out and speak well in English. Practice more. To do that, you have to accept that it will feel difficult or uncomfortable a lot of time. That's how it is. Don't let it stop you. That's how it is. Don't let it stop you. You can still practice, you can still communicate, and you can still improve. Trust me, you can do that. I'll give you an example of this from my own experience. I hate making phone calls in another language. I don't know why, but I find it difficult and uncomfortable. I guess because I can't use context or physical expression or anything like that to help me understand or communicate. So I hated making phone calls to foreign people. Like I need to tell them some appointment or reservation like that. I still do it because I have to sometimes. I just accept that I'm gonna feel nervous or uncomfortable and I have to speak and communicate anyway. And I do. It doesn't stop you. Feeling nervous does not stop you communicating. This will be the same for the something. It might be phone call. It might be something else. The key point is, you have to accept to learn to deal with that pressure. Don't think, it feels scary, so I won't do it. It won't feel less scary in future. The only way to make it easier is to go out and do it. If you do that, you'll feel more confident. It will get a little bit easier that time. Okay, so you know the important point about fluency, but is there anything else you can do to practice? Yes, there is. Speed reading. Find a text in English. It can be something from a textbook, from a newspaper, from a blog, or anywhere in YouTube too. The text should be easy for you. Don't choose something with a lot of new words or something which is way above your current English level. Sit down with a timer. Read 2 texts aloud. Time yourself. Now, read it again. Try to beat your previous time. Keep going like this. See how fast you can read the text. What is for? Remember, that part of fluently is physical. Your mouth needs to practice English sounds and English words fast and smoothly. Speed reading like this is a good way to practice that size of fluency. This way of practicing is really useful because you can do it almost anywhere, and you can also do as much or as little as you have time for. You can do 5 minutes practice or 15 minutes or half an hour. It's all helpful. Let's see another good technique like this, using songs. Let's sing a song. Find a song in English, choosing something which you like. Find the lyric online. If you don't know where to look, just put the song title and Google it with words lyric. You will find them. Play the song, read the lyric, and sing. Like with speed reading, this is good technique and practice the physical side of fluency. When you sing a song, you have to go at the speed of the song. Start with slower song, then choose faster ones. Try to choose something that's possible but challenging. So, you can sing the song, but it's difficult to go fast enough. It's like Carpenters or Bruno Mars I like, or Ed Sheeran I like. That is. Again, this will help you with your physical fluency. It's also easy to do. You can do 1 song a day. I promise you that you will feel a difference quite quickly. And it really helped. Speed reading and singing a song are good for physical fluency. But what about mental side of fluency? Let's see what you can do to improve that. Learn language is chunks. Here's a question. How do you learn vocabulary? When I see students learning vocabulary, often it looks like this. People write down the English words, the translation in their own language, and then they try to memorize it. Write it down on the paper 10 times or 15 times, whatever. But what does that have to do with fluency? Think about it. If you learn language like this, you are making your brain in a very unnatural and complicated way. First of all, you are learning each word individually, but when you speak a language, you don't need individual words, you need to phrase and sentences. Secondly, if you do this, you are learning English through your own language. You are not learning to speak English, you are trying to learn to translate your language into English in your head. So, does this sound familiar? You have a sentence in your head in your own language. You move through the sentence, translating each word into English. If you don't know the translation of a word, you get stuck. You feel bad about your English, and you stop speaking. You need to break this habit if you want to speak fluently. First of all, this way of thinking and speaking is always slow. It will always be slow because you are trying to do too many things at once. You are trying to think and remember things in two languages. It's too difficult for anybody. So what you can do? I said before that you need phrases and sentences when you speak. So learn language is phrases and sentences. For example, imagine that someone asks you, "What are you doing in weekend?" Learn phrases and sentences. Look at 3 answers. I'm going to see some old friends. I'm thinking of going for a bike ride. I'm thinking to go out and watch a cinema. I might do nothing, stay at home and chill out. Now make your own sentences. I'm going to blah blah blah. I'm thinking of blah blah blah. I might blah blah blah. Like this. Try to make 2 or 3 sentences for each one so that you use different endings. Now think. If someone asks you this question, "What are you doing in this weekend?" If you remember language in a big thesis, you only have to remember 2 things. I'm going plus see some old friends. I'm going plus have dinner with them. I'm going plus to watch the baseball game. Like this. That makes it easy to respond to questions like this fluency. On the other hand, if you make a sentence your language in your head and then translate each word into English, it's much more complicated. You don't just have to remember 2 things. You have to remember many things. So try to learn vocabulary in this way. Take a sentence like, "I went for a walk yesterday." Keep the basic sentence from, but change part of it. I blah 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 yesterday. I went shopping yesterday. I watched the cinema yesterday. I met my friend yesterday. Like this. I was lazy all day yesterday. This is also okay. Now practice and remember the sentences and phrases. This is a much more natural way to learn vocabulary. If you learn vocabulary like this, it will be much easier to respond because you won't need to think in your own language and you remember that whole phrases and sentences that you need. Okay, that's the end of my lesson. I hope you learned something about spoken fluency and how you can improve your fluency in English. You can find more free English lessons from my YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed my channel, please subscribe from the below. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye! せーの、バキュン!